If you've ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or unsure of yourself, then this story will find you where you are. Because sometimes what feels like falling apart is really the beginning of waking up. Long ago, in a quiet mountain village surrounded by whispering pines, there lived a young woman named Elara. Her days were filled with simple routines, tending her small garden, helping her neighbors, walking to the river with a wicker basket in hand. To others, she seemed calm and content. But inside, Elara's heart raced as if running from something unseen. She often woke before the first light, breath quick and shallow, eyes searching the dark. The world, she felt, was both beautiful and unbearable. Too loud, too bright, too heavy. She wanted to understand it all, but every thought led to another question, another uncertainty. "Why can't I feel peace like everyone else?" she would whisper to her reflection in the still water. Her mother told her to pray. Her friends told her to rest. But none of it quieted the storm within. The sound of laughter in the village only reminded her how far she felt from belonging. As the days grew colder, her restlessness deepened. At night, she sat by the window, watching the moon drift between clouds, her chest tight with something she couldn't name. One night, as the wind howled through the valley, she packed a small satchel, a loaf of bread, a blanket, a tiny notebook. She gazed once more at her sleeping village and whispered, "If there's truth beyond this fear, I will find it, even if it breaks me first." And with that, she stepped into the unknown. Elara's path led through valleys wrapped in mist and forests that whispered secrets. The first nights were the hardest. Each sound, a snapping twig, a distant howl, made her heart pound. She doubted herself constantly. "What am I doing out here?" she thought. "What if I never find peace?" But something deeper, quieter, kept her moving forward. It was not courage, not yet. It was longing. After many weary days, she reached a field of tall golden grass. The sun dipped low, setting the world aflame with orange light. There, beside a dying campfire, sat an old traveler, wrapped in a tattered cloak. His hair was white as winter, his eyes sharp as stars. He greeted her with a nod, and she, desperate for warmth and company, sat beside him. They shared her bread in silence until Elara finally spoke. "I can't seem to stop feeling afraid. Even when nothing's wrong, my heart trembles. People say I'm anxious, weak, maybe broken." The old man smiled faintly. "You are not broken," he said. "You are awakening. The tremble in your heart is the sound of your soul remembering who it is." Elara frowned. "Awakening? It feels more like drowning." "That's because you've mistaken the storm for the sea," he replied. "You think you're being swallowed, but really, you're learning how to breathe underwater." The fire crackled softly between them. His words confused her, but they also soothed her, as if some part of her had been waiting to hear them. For the next few days, Elara traveled with the old man. He taught her to listen, not to the noise of her mind, but to the rhythm beneath it. When her thoughts raced, he told her, "Let them pass like clouds. You are the sky, not the storm." One night, they camped beneath a vast sky freckled with stars. Elara asked, "Will this fear ever end?" The old man chuckled. "Fear is not a curse, child. It's a torch. It burns because it shows you where to go." Those words stayed with her long after he was gone. For when she awoke the next morning, the traveler had vanished, leaving only a small carving of a bird in flight. Elara continued her journey alone, climbing higher into the mountains, where the air was thin and sharp. Days blurred into nights, her body aching, her thoughts shifting like tides. She stumbled, fell, wept, and rose again. With every challenge, she began to see her anxiety for what it truly was, not an enemy, but an awakening. At last, she reached the summit of dawn, where the sky met the earth in a blaze of gold. The climb had nearly broken her. Her hands were torn, her clothes ragged, her breath shallow. She collapsed to her knees as the first light spilled across the horizon. All the pain, the fear, the questions, they rose and broke open inside her like a wave. She whispered, "Why must awakening hurt so much?" Then, in that sacred silence, she heard it, not with her ears, but with her heart. Because only when you tremble do you remember that you are alive. The wind brushed her face like a blessing. For the first time, the anxiety that once haunted her felt like light, pure, electric, alive. She understood. She was never lost. She was simply becoming who she was meant to be. When Elara returned to her village, her eyes carried a calm that no storm could touch. The villagers still called her different. But now she smiled, because she finally understood what that meant. So remember, my friends, sometimes your anxiety isn't a sign of weakness. It's your soul awakening to its power. The storm inside you is not to destroy you, but to clear your path towards light. If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more stories that heal, inspire, and awaken the soul.